You finally submit your portfolio, shut the laptop like it's detonating, and start stalking your inbox like a toxic ex. Then the thanks but no thanks email drops and every all-nighter suddenly feels pointless. Your confident flatlines and even your best sketch looks like a toddler's doodle. Here's the plot twist. The gut punch is actually the cheat code to your next portfolio glow up. In the next few minutes, we're going to roast the classic screw-ups that make rejection sting harder than it should. Swap out the pity party mindset for a growth gear. And map a step-by-step remix plan so the next version of your work has recruiters double-tapping harder than your last thirst trap. Before we build the comeback, we need to understand why the punch hurts so much. Think of these 4 mistakes as a hidden thumbtacks on your creative chair. You don't notice them until you sit down, and then all you can feel is pain. Spot them early, yank them out, and feedback stops feeling like a personal attack and starts reading like a treasure map. Mistake number 1, verdict mentality. You read, doesn't fit our needs, and your inner narrator screams, I'm hopeless. One line of text turns into a life sentence. Verdict thinking slams the door on curiosity. If the case is closed, your brain stops asking questions like, which need didn't I met? Or how could I reframe that section? No curiosity, no iteration. Creativity thrives on experimentation. A verdict mentality convinces you experimentation is pointless, so you default to safe choices like same color palettes, same layouts, and your portfolio freezes in time while the industry keeps evolving. Mistake number 2, DNA attack. A reviewer says your proportions feel off, and suddenly you're Googling, can adults learn in drawing or is it genetic? You've leaped from one flawed slide to a fixed identity crisis. When you link a single critique to your identity, every suggested change feels like an assault on who you are, not what you made. That emotional spike floods you with cortisol, narrowing focus and making analytic thought almost impossible. High-stakes identity dramas makes you defensive. Instead of probing why the proportions felt off, maybe rushed perspective lines, maybe reference fatigue, you're busy protecting your ego. Defensive artists don't improve, they just fight. Mistake number 3, panic editing. You nuke half your deck at 2 a.m., add a random 3D render because it looks expensive, and rearrange slides until nothing tells a coherent story. Panic edits treat symptoms, not causes. They mask structural issues with visual glitter. Recruiters sense the disconnect instantly. Flashy slides, weak idea, next applicant. Every portfolio is a narrative. Frankenfolios break narrative trust. When the flow feels random, reviewers assume you're thinking random, an unspoken red flag that costs you callbacks. Mistake number 4, zero reflection. You dive straight into re-render without dissecting what actually failed. Same tools, same habits, different lighting, and shocker, same rejection, next round. Skipping reflection replaces analysis with busy work. You feel productive, but you're basically painting over a cracked wall. The fissure keeps spreading underneath. Without reflection, you miss patterns. Maybe every reviewer flags weak ideation thumbnails, or all your captions bury the why. Ignoring patterns leaves systemic weakness intact, guaranteeing Groundhog Day rejections. Alright, we've yanked the thumbtacks. Now let's rebuild the chair so it feels like a throne. The next 10 moves works like a remix desk in a recording studio. Each slider you push and knob you twist upgrades a different track in your portfolio. Follow them in order, layer the sound, and that former rejection will reemerge as a chart topping higher this one and then. Give yourself a 24-hour timeout. Right after a rejection, your brain is still in cortisol, so any fixes you make now will be driven by panic, not clarity. Step away, sketch purely for fun, binge a comfort show, go for a run. Whatever flips your mental switch for it to chill. When you return the next day, you'll see the comments with fresh, less defensive eyes and make smarter decisions. Spread the feedback out on the table and color code it. Print a mail or copy it into a doc and hit it with markers. Blue for objective issues, pink for personal taste, yellow for vague notes you don't fully grasp. The page stops feeling like a wall of disappointment and turns into a color-mapped to-do list. Instant clarity. Ask one focused follow-up. Shoot the reviewer a short, grateful message. Thanks for the feedback. Could you share one example of where the story felt confusing? That single clarifier often reveals the real bottleneck they didn't word clearly the first time. Plus, it shows you're coachable, which many reviewers value almost as much as raw talent. Pin each comment to the exact pages it affects. Open your portfolio file or lay printed pages on the floor. Stick notes right on top of the slides in question. You'll notice patterns, maybe weak thumbnails ideation pops up in 3 projects, or every caption buries the why. Those clusters tell you where your effort will pay off fastest. Pick the 2 fixes with the biggest ripple effect. Maybe your rendering style jumps wildly from slide to slide and your storytelling order is messy. Tighten those first. Big pillars drive perception, polishing 10-time details before shoring up the main beams just rearranges deck chairs on the Titanic. Commit to a 3-week upgrade sprint. First week is research. Dissect portfolios that nail the 2 skills you're targeting. Screenshot their pacing, stud their color discipline. The second week is rebuild. Take one flagship project and rebuild it end to end, from cover splash to credits. The third week is refine. Grab a fast peer or mentor critique, apply the edits, and bake the lesson into the next project. 3 weeks is short enough to stay hungry and long enough to make visible leaps. Document every glow up. Before you override an old slide, screenshot it. Do the same with the upgraded version. Put them side by side. When you later drop a carousel in LinkedIn or show a recruiter the comparison, the improvement is undeniable. No hype required. Track rejections like lab results. Make a simple spreadsheet with columns for company, date, verdict, key feedback. Over 10 or 20 entries, we'll start spotting meta patterns. Maybe multiple studios mention unclear process thumbnails or inconsistent lighting. Those macro trends become your next high-impact focus areas. Share progress in public. Post your version 1 versus version 2 reels on your Instagram story. Tweet your week 2 overhaul or drop a LinkedIn write-up title, "What I Learned Fixing My Portfolio Narratives." You will magnetize extra feedback, meet designers facing the same hurdles, and quietly broadcast that you're the type who iterates instead of sulks. Circle back with proof and gratitude. When the flagship project is revamped, send a quick note to the original reviewer. Your advice on narrative flow helped me reshape Project A. Here's a one-slide comparison. Thanks again. Your insight was a game changer. People love seeing their inputs valued, and that follow-through can transform a polite rejection into a warm referral, or even a second interview. Follow the chain exactly. Decompress, decode, clarify, target, sprint, show receipts, gather data, broadcast growth, and close the loop. Stack these moves and your next no won't feel like a dead end, just the first checkpoint on a sharper, straighter road to yes. Rejection is brutal, but never final. It's the most honest compass you ever get. Breathe, Analyze, rebuild, and watch the no's shrink while the invites grow. If this flipped your mindset, hit like, subscribe for weekly portfolio hacks, and drop the harshest critique you ever swallowed in the comments. I would jump in with a fixed idea. Now, if you're serious about taking your portfolio to the next level and want my guidance, click on the card above to watch the video with the detailed information about my one-on-one mentoring program. We'll talk about your goals, your design style, and how to make your portfolio truly stand out. Portfolios are living organisms. Every rejection is simply gene day for yours. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao!